Have you ever felt like you're living a life that was paid for by someone else, but you're the one who's gone bankrupt? Today we are opening a file that many of us keep locked away. We're talking about the specific quiet agony of being 20, being a dropout, and feeling like you're drowning in a sea of potential that never turned into reality. We're going to look at why your brain freezes when it should work, why your friends feel like strangers, and why sometimes a fever is the only thing that feels like a vacation. This is the diary of a 20-year-old dropout. Welcome to the archives. Imagine someone buys you a ticket to a destination you didn't choose. They're so proud of you for going. They've saved up for years, worked shifts they hated, and sacrificed their own comfort to pay for your fare, your tuition, your books, your future. But halfway there, you realize you're seasick, you're terrified. You want to jump off the boat, but you can't, because you're carrying the weight of their sacrifice like a lead vest. When the grades came back and they didn't just miss the mark but fell off the map, it didn't just feel like a bad score. It felt like a theft. You look at the people who believe in you, and you feel like a con artist. You're drowning in a sea of expectations. And the worst part? The person who paid for the boat is still waving at you from the shore, thinking you're sailing, while you're actually just trying to keep your head above the waves. It bleeds into your social life too. Hanging out with friends used to be a sanctuary. Now it's a chore. It's an acting gig you didn't audition for. You sit at the table, manually triggering your smiles, while they talk about their 5-year plans and their internships. You look at people your age who seem to have decoded the universe, and you feel like an alien. You envy their momentum. You aren't jealous of their money or their clothes. You're jealous of their ability to just function, to wake up and not feel like the bed is a magnet pulling them back down. You find yourself looking at the exit signs during dinner, not because you hate them, but because being perceived takes energy you simply don't have. You're running on 1% battery and the social pressure is a high drain app you forgot to close. People call it laziness. They're wrong. In the archives, we understand that this is avoidance coping. When the task in front of you, that degree, that career, is tied to your entire sense of self-worth, your brain perceives it as a physical threat. So you freeze. Your procrastination isn't a choice. It's an insane loop of anxiety where you're too paralyzed to start because you're afraid to fail. You spend 6 hours staring at a blank screen until the blue light burns your retinas. Sometimes you just break down out of nowhere. In the kitchen, in the shower, at 3 a.m. It's a sudden realization that you are underwater and you've forgotten how to kick. You find yourself wishing you wouldn't wake up, not because you want the story to end, but because you are desperate for a silence that the world refuses to give you. And then you get sick. A real physical fever, 102 degrees. And for the first time in months, you don't apologize to the air for existing. When you're physically ill, the hustle culture can't touch you. You finally feel like you've earned the right to rest. It's a dark irony that you'd rather be in pain than be productive, just so you can have a hall pass from your own brain. You realize you've been needing a rest that sleep simply isn't providing. You realize you've been fighting a war with no one but yourself. If you are in this loop right now, listen to me. You are not a broken machine. You are a human being responding to an inhumane amount of pressure. Stop pretending the boat isn't sinking. The debt of a disappointed parent is much easier to pay back than the debt of a lost soul. You aren't alone in these archives. Leave a comment with one thing you're forgiving yourself for today. Let's make this space a sanctuary. I'm Ponder, and the archives are always open. Stay gentle with yourself.